Shalom. We'll get started here in just a few moments.
Okay, that's a lot of angels, man. And one angel, and I mean one angel, could destroy the whole earth. Okay, so imagine hundreds of millions, billions, trillions of angels with that power. Okay, now let's go to verse 12. Saying with a loud voice, worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength. Right, strength. This army has great strength, man, and honor and glory and blessings. Okay, so the angels, man, are ready to serve Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai, Shai, within that order. They're ready to get busy. They're ready to come down here, man. Okay, by Yahweh's order. Because Yahweh Shai can't come down here until Yahweh tell him to come down here. Because he don't know the day. That power is kept with Yahweh, man. All right, think about that. Now let's go to John chapter 5, verse 22. For the Father judgeth no man, but have committed all judgment unto the Son. Right, man. Okay, he committed all judgment to Yahweh Shai, even though Yahweh Shai don't know the day, but he still committed all judgment to Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, and Yahweh Shai is going to carry out that judgment with his army, with a great army. All right, I just broke it down. Okay, 10,000 times 10,000s, even thousands of thousands. Okay, that's without number, man. Trillions and trillions. We don't know the number, but we know it's big time. Okay, like I said, one angel could destroy the earth. One angel could destroy Esau's army, the other nation's army, and wear their ass out. One angel could do that. Now, when you go to Psalm 68, verse 17, the chariots of Yahweh Shema Shah are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them. Right, he's among them, giving them the orders, okay, under his authority, okay, as in Sinai in the holy place. Right, man, he's waiting, man. Okay, the vengeance is in his heart. Okay, he's gonna come down here and give all the orders, man, to all the angels. Okay, to Michael, which I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Okay, they all waiting at the end of the day to get busy. Now let's go back to John chapter 5. We're gonna jump to verse 27. And have given him authority to execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. So there you go. He's giving him authority, man. So all those angels are under Yahweh Shai's authority.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto my power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Hakodash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father. His true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh. In his son's name, who the word in the call Jesus Christ, whose name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Also give a praises, honor, and glory to the Yahweh Hakodash, the Holy Spirit,
also appeared to the
which is the force and entity that makes its edification possible. I want to say shalom to all you sincere hearted Akim Muakwat, that you brothers and sisters make your bodies a living sacrifice on a daily basis in this wicked and adulterous generation. Also want to give double honors to my beloved apostles and the elders, great millstone, who taught me this truth and who rule well. And I'm the brother Osmo Walk here from the Great Millstone Dallas Camp, coming back this morning through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah to do another lesson. And the Lord's will, this lesson be found edifying and exhorting as well. Salaki, as edifying and exhorting unto the Lord's elect, as well as glorifying unto the names of my power, Yahweh Shema Shah. And before we get into the lesson, if a brother or a sister can let me know if my audio is good, because I know yesterday I had to redo my video 3 times, due to some technical difficulties. Brothers were saying that it was buffering, pretty bad on their end. So if a brother or sister can let me know how it sounds, on their end, that would be appreciated. But as you can read the title of the lesson, it says, "Look up, for your redemption draweth near." All right, look up, for your redemption draweth near. And that comes from the words of our beloved King, all right, our Lord, big brother, Yahweh Shah, our Savior, our deliverer. Okay, from Luke, the 21st chapter. God, the water up. All right, the water, for letting me know that the sound and the visuals is good. All right, so we're going to get into it, man. All right, because as we're witnessing these wars, rumors of wars, okay, economic, distress, people bugging out, crashing out. All right, just ultimately, the vibe of everything has changed and is marching according to the tune of prophecy. Well, okay, Yahushua told us as we see all these things in the midst of it, look up, physically look up. Okay, we look up in our spirits, in our mind's eye. Okay, as we have our conversation in heaven. Okay, but physically look up. All right, because Yahweh Shema Shah, okay, is showing us signs and tokens. Okay, for those who really believe. All right, because you got people in the world, they're looking at, they're physically looking at things, in the firmament, but they're not able to draw two and two together. They don't equate these things with the doings and works of Yahweh Shema Shah. They look at these so-called UFOs, and Esau's narrative, pretty much reigns supreme in their mind, as it relates into what these entities are, okay, in these crafts. Okay, they think that there's some little green men, with big ass heads and gigantic, black eyeballs and three fingers. Okay, but that's a part of Esau blaspheming. Okay, the heavens and the Lord's tabernacle, as it says in Revelation the 13th chapter. Okay, but we know. Okay, we know. All right, what these crafts are. Okay, and those are the chariots of Israel, also known as the chariots of salvation, as you read Habakkuk the third chapter. But before we get into Dabu's video, I want to grab this here in Luke 21. Oh, and as well, there's a solar eclipse about to take place, I believe on August next Wednesday, which I believe that's the new moon too. Come on, man, it's on the new moon. All right, and Scripture tells us in Genesis. Before we open up, let's get this in Genesis. I believe it's chapter 2. Might be chapter 1. Let's try Genesis chapter 1. This is Genesis chapter 1 and 14. It says, and the Alahayim, the powers, said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. See that? So the signs, Salakia, the lights that's in the heavens, you got the sun, the moon, the stars, which the moon gives its own light. All right, as well. But a part, of these celestial, armies that Yahweh Shema Shah created, the sun, the moon, the stars. Okay, they serve for seasons. Okay, lets you know that the changing of the seasons, days. You got Sabbath days, high feast days, which is all predicated upon the lunar phases. Okay, they give they let you know what years you're in, but also what I want to hone in is that the Lord uses these particular instruments, okay, the sun, the moon, the stars, for signs. Okay, and this is a part of measuring the times that we're in. Okay, looking up. Okay, you got blood moons. Okay, wolf moons, blue moons. Okay, they're so-called gods. They are no gods, and they don't give them the explanation as to why these things are occurring. So they're dismayed at it. They're dismayed at the signs of heaven. Okay, the so-called UFOs. Okay, the blood moons. Okay, wolf moons. Their guys didn't tell them these things. See, but our power did. Yahweh by Shema Shah. He told us in the book of Joel, the second chapter, that before the great and terrible day of Yahweh by Shema Shah, that the moon shall turn into blood. See that? He told us that there's going to the flying scroll is going to enter into the house of the thief. So we know what the so-called UFOs are. Those are the chariots of Yahweh Shema Shah, the chariots of Israel. See, he says, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. All right, so let's go back to that was it on Genesis 1. So let's go here to Luke 21. And I'm going to get straight to the point. we'll start at verse 25 and we'll read on down, okay, to 27. Oh, it's like it, verse 28. It's Luke 21 and verse 25. And look at the title, The Return of Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay, this is the climax of everything, man. Yahushua coming back. The Most High sending forth his only begotten Son, all right, to take over that which is rightfully his. See? Luke 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun. See, just as we just read in Genesis, the first chapter. The Lord created the sun, the moon, the stars to serve not only to let you know, the days, the years, okay, the seasons, but also for signs. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. And let's grab this word signs here in the Greek. And the very fact that, Yahweh Shema Shah has given us all these signs goes to show you that nobody's without excuse. None of you Israelites are without excuse to say that I didn't know. Okay. You've heard the prophets, and Yahweh Shema Shah is giving you physical, tangible signs, man. Things that you've never seen in your lifetime. Okay. And this word signs in the Greek.
Strong's G 4592, Semayon. Semayon.
Okay, it says a sign, a mark, a token. Okay. It says a sign, prodigy, an unusual occurrence. Okay. Solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, those are unusual occurrences. Have they happened in times past in the ancient world? Absolutely. Okay, but the frequency, how they're just occurring, these solar eclipses and lunar eclipses are just occurring like almost damn near every other month, which I may be exaggerating, but it happens multiple times throughout the year, which even Esau's so-called science, his pseudoscience tells you, oh, this is not going to happen until the next time it's going to happen it's going to happen in year 2040. But it ends up happening, a few months from then. And then it happens again and again. See, so these are unusual occurrences, man. See, this is our power, Yahweh B'Shemal Shah, at work. You got people up on YouTube. I mean, hell, brothers, I got videos in my phone, man. You're seeing fleets of chariots just lined up perfectly. Like they're about to go on a mission, which they are on a mission. They're spying out this place. Zechariah, the 5th chapter. They've entered into the house of the thief. That's an unusual occurrence. You see not just one UFO so-called, but you see a whole fleet of them, and they're just lined up in a single row, single file line. And then they just disappear out of nowhere. Like, come on, man. See, but people look at that and just still eating sandwiches. Oh, look at that. And go back to committing adultery. They smoking a blunt, Oh, man, what is that? They think that they bugging out, they got some good, they got the good shit. No, man, your eyes weren't deceiving you. This is happening, man. Unusual occurrence, transcending the common course of nature, of signs portending remarkable events soon to happen. All right. So let's go back here to Luke 21 and 25. Yahushua says, and there shall be signs in the sun. So he's letting us know what he's going to do before he comes back. See that? He's the one that's causing all these things to happen. And he's just waiting upon a green light, okay, from his father, Yahweh, okay, to signal unto him, okay, hey, go back. Okay, you go, hey, go get my elect and destroy the wicked. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity. And come on, man, we see this. Okay, and this is the distress and the perplexity is growing day by day. Okay, the earth is in these people are in straits. Okay, the strain of resources, people bugging out. All right, and it's only going to continue to escalate. All right, because it's likened to a woman in travail giving birth. Those birth pains are getting more intense and more frequent. It says the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Talking about these rulerships, man. Okay. Verse 27. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud. All right. A cloud. This ain't talking about no rain cloud, man. Okay. This ain't no ordinary cloud, a white puffy cloud, which the cherries, they can metamorphosize and take shapes, and appear to be clouds. I'm thoroughly convicted that sometimes when we see these clouds, especially like these low hanging clouds, these are chariots, but this ain't talking about no regular cloud, no regular rain cloud. Okay. This is speaking about, the chariots. All right. And in this verse particularly, this is speaking about, Yahweh Shai's ship. See, the fathership that you read about in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. See, which when the prophet saw these visions, the Lord showed them different perspectives. The prophet Ezra saw a great mountain, John the Revelator, he equated it, with the white horse. See? All right, Isaiah, the 66th chapter speaks about the chariots of fire. See? And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up. See that? Look up. So when you see what coming to pass, these wars, rumors of wars, distress of nations with perplexity, men's heart fell in them for fear, which we see these things every day, and it's only escalating. Okay, he says, when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads physically. All right, and this is for the believers, man. Says, for your redemption draweth nigh. So the Lord has given us actual tangible physical signs, man, to look at. All right, you're not wicked for looking up and wanting to see, a chariot. The Lord wants you, because that shows that you believe. See that? If you don't believe, you're not going to, have that expectation that, okay, when I look up, if I pray, hey, the Lord show me a chariot. That's a beautiful thing. And it's also fearful, because it's like, wow, okay, the Lord is really looking at me, man. Let me make sure I'm doing, what he expects of me to the best of my ability through his spirit and power, man. You see? So I want to play this video real quick. All right, from Dabu.
A rather wild story.
Fair use, fair use. I do not own the rights to this video. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use.
As astronomers out of Ukraine say that they've been studying the moon, and they claim to have captured possible evidence, they say, of a technologically advanced non-human civilization. Scientists at Ukraine's main astronomical observatory, which is situated right around Kiev, they say that they had spotted more than 20 unidentified objects moving near or across the moon over several months. Some of the disc-shaped objects were estimated to measure between 15 and 25 miles across. This new study that they put out here shows that there's two categories. They state
They said over 15 to 20 miles, 20 miles, long. See? That can like Elder, because I was watching Elder Apostle Tahar's video as he was laying back on this video, and the priest Tazama's video out here in Dallas. Elder Apostle Tahar made mention about that's the size of I believe, I can't remember exactly which city he said, in or the borough that he said in New York, but that's the size. Hey, that's the size of a lot of cities, man. 15, 20 miles, across. See, and that's not even talking about the fathership right there, And pursuant to the prophet Ezra, 2nd Ezra 13th chapter, it speaks about that fathership. Yahweh Shai's chariot is going to cover, the whole earth, man, to fulfill Revelation 1:7. Behold, every eye shall see him. See,
atmospheric objects that appear stationary and continental objects that appear to move across the surface of the moon. The objects also appear to display unusual changes in brightness and rotation. They state that they use this,
and you can read about that in Ezekiel chapter 1. Dabu just made mention about how they change, brightness and rotation. Ezekiel chapter 1, and I also believe Ezekiel the 10th chapter goes into that as well. Okay, so yeah, man, and you heard it here first and only. All right, from the men here of Great Millstone. Okay, starting with our apostles and their teachers, man. I mean, you got a few other camps that talk about it, but that's pretty much it. They don't preach about it; they just mention it, But Jake don't really believe. See, we really believe. That's why Scripture speaks about what is that in the book of Second Peter, I believe, those who have obtained like precious faith with us. Okay, precious is something that's rare. Okay, so we have a rare faith. Who else is expecting, a so-called black man to come on a spaceship and stand on top of it and to be accompanied with millions upon millions of other, UFOs, that's driven by so-called black men? Who's expecting that? And for these so-called UFOs to actually, in the world's vernacular, they will use abduct. But hey, by definition, that's what we're looking for. We're looking to get abducted and for them to change our bodies. All right. So now you see why these people look at us so weird, man, which I get it. All right. But I believe it, man. And if you don't believe it, well, you're not in the right spirit and the Lord ain't dealing with you, because this is exactly what the scriptures foretells to come to pass, man. All right.
High-speed camera that snapped 20 images every second, allowing the scientists to track these objects that would have otherwise been nearly impossible to see. They say these UFOs were so faint that some appeared as nothing more than a 2x2 pixel against the moon. But they say that they're not behaving randomly. Some of the ones labeled atmospheric appear to be locked in where they're at with the moon. They're moving in sync.
Yeah, you dang right they're not moving randomly. Each angel is doing exactly what Yahweh Shema Shah wants them to do. Okay. The angels, they take their bidding from Yahweh Shema Shah. What's that? Psalms 103. Then we're gonna have to get into Psalms 104. Psalms chapter 103 and verse 20. It says, "Bless the Lord Yahweh Bashima Shai, ye his angels that excel in strength." See, that excel in strength. And one angel can destroy this whole planet. See, that do his commandments. See, so all the angels do the Lord's commandments. So, like your boy that Boo just said, they're not acting randomly. Okay, well, no duh. Okay, because they're doing the commandments of Yahweh Shema Shai, and everything that the Lord does, it's in order. See, bless ye the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. And who's his word? Yahweh Shai. And all the angels are underneath the command of Yahweh Shai. He has preeminence. Yahweh Shai has preeminence. Okay, that was bestowed upon him by the Heavenly Father. So Yahweh Shai has, command over the angels. See? And they hearken unto the voice of his word. They hearken unto the voice of Yahweh Shai. Bless you, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, all ye hosts. Okay, the armies, man. Heaven has an army. It says, you ministers of his that do his pleasure. See that? Let's go here to Psalms 104. Psalms 104. And verse 4. It's Psalms chapter 104 and verse 3. It said, let's start at verse 2. It says, let's start at verse 1. All right. It says, bless the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, O my soul. O Yahweh Shema Shai, my power, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. And when Yahweh Shai comes back, pursuant to Matthew the 24th chapter, he says that he's going to come in the majesty, and in the power of the Father, man. So when he comes back, as scripture say, one ram shall fight against another ram. The vibration Yahweh Shai is going to come in. It's going to feel like, bro, hey, this is the Most High. This is the Father. But it's not. It's Yahweh Shai. See, because he's clothed with that honor and majesty of the Father. See that? Verse 2. Who covereth thyself with light as with a garment, who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain. All right. That's when he's going to, that one realm shall come into this other realm. He's going to stretch out the heavens like a curtain. Man, it's going to be a sight to see. That's why Yahweh Shah told us in Luke 21. Let me grab that real quick. We'll go back to Psalms. Luke 21 and 36. Yahweh Shah told us to pray for this. He says, watch ye therefore and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. So Yahweh Shah told us to pray, okay, that we can be accounted worthy to escape these coming destructions and to stand and see him come, man. I would love to see that. now along with that, it's going to be very dangerous. You're going to have to go through a lot of dangers and perils, as you know, 2 Ezra 13 chapter speaks about. Those who are left behind, they shall go through a lot of dangers, but they're going to be more blessed above everybody else that just passed away, and they didn't see Yahweh Shah's return. Luke 21:36 NLT, keep alert at all times. All right, and man, keep alert at all times. And this world, okay, wants you distracted, man, to where because Esau, man, he's going hardcore with these enchantments, okay, his sorcery, his witchcraft right now, because you would think people would be all over this, like, man, the government's telling about the UFO, but people they don't care, they're not alert, they're disenchanted. And if you're not careful, that worldly ass spirit of not giving a fuck about these spiritual things will try to creep up on you. But we got to be alert, man. Hey, the Lord is speaking. He's speaking, man. Don't get worn out. This ain't the time to get worn out, man. That's for these people to get worn out. Okay? The hardy people of the earth do languish. See? This is not for us, man. Now, does that mean that we don't have times where we're tired in the flesh? Absolutely, we're gonna get tired in the flesh, and sometimes weary, man. But that's why we have to encourage ourselves in the Lord, encourage ourselves in Yahweh B'Shem Shah, man. Okay, and keep watch. I'm really starting to see more and more why Yahweh Shah emphasized watching, because you would think the closer and closer we get, Jake would be watching more. But it's the opposite. Jake is getting tired, man. But that's why he emphasized, man, keep watching, watch and pray, lest that day come up on you unawares, because he's wearing these people slap out right now, man. And a lot of Jake, they taking their hand off the plow, they're getting tired, their spirits getting tired, their minds getting tired, and once again, are we immune to feeling tired at times? Absolutely not, man. We're in this flesh, but if the spirit is dealing with you, you're going to snap out of it. And the Lord's going to give you just enough, of what you need, all right, to overcome. Yes, the saints shall be worn out, but Daniel the 7th chapter doesn't end with that. Okay. It speaks about how, Esau is going to wear out the saints, but how does Daniel the 7th chapter end? It ends with saying that saints of the kingdom shall take the saints shall take the kingdom. All right. That's how it ends. So we're going to overcome, even though we're worn out. Okay. Even though we're vexed with, hey, man, we're going to overcome. We're going to take the kingdom back. All right. So keep alert at all times and pray that you might be strong enough to escape these coming horrors. This is Yahweh Shah speaking, man. He says, and stand before the Son of Man. And if you really believe, you'll be praying for that. Let's finish that in Psalms 104 and verse 2. Verse 3, it says, who lay up the beams of his chambers in the waters, right? In the Shemayim, in the heavens. That's why when the prophet Ezra saw that vision, it said, the man that cometh up out of the sea. Okay, that's not talking about the Atlantic Ocean. It's talking about the heavens, because the word heavens in the Hebrew is Shemayim, which means waters, because the firmament is waters. All right. So who lay up the beams of his chambers in the waters, in the heavens, who maketh the clouds, see, who maketh the clouds his chariot. See, he said he's coming with clouds. Who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flaming fire. And the chariots are spirits, as you read in Isaiah 31. Okay, the chariots of the Lord are spirit and not flesh, like Pharaoh's chariots. Pharaoh's chariots, which the modern day Pharaoh's Esau, his chariots is flesh. Okay, meaning it's man-made. Okay, it's going to fail. It's cursed. See, but the chariots of Yahweh Bashma Shah, those are spirits, man. When you read Ezekiel, the first chapter, really the chariots are just, the chariots really just follow where the angels fly. Sometimes, the angels, they hide themselves, they cloak themselves where they're invisible, but those chariots is following where the angels are going, pursuant to Ezekiel, the first chapter. Let me see if I can get that real quick. Ezekiel. Yeah, Ezekiel 1:20 in the NLT. Let's start at verse 15. Ezekiel 1:15 NLT. As I looked at these beings, I saw 4 wheels touching the ground beside them, one wheel belonging to each. The wheels is speaking about is the chariots. It says the wheels sparkled as if made of beryl. And, Ezekiel had a very close up, encounter with these things. He was able to, not things, but, with the chariots, he was able to see the colors and the fire and all the details, man. All 4 wheels looked alike and were made the same. Each wheel had a second wheel turning crosswise within it, a wheel within a wheel. All right. The beings could move in any of the 4 directions they faced without turning as they moved. See, because they're not flesh, they're spirit. So they can just turn on a dime without, having to, they don't turn like a helicopter or an airplane. Like they just, it's hard to even describe it. But, the prophet Ezekiel said these beings could move in any of the 4 directions they faced without turning as they move. So they didn't even have to turn, they just, if it wanted to go left, it just went left. Go up, go down, go right. It didn't have to turn. It says, verse 18, the rims of the 4 wheels were tall and frightening. And that's Jake. Jake got to have them big rims, which I'm being facetious right now. But that's how you know these so-called black men. Okay. They got them 24 dubs, but nah, the rims, okay, they're rings, as you read in KJV. All right, the wheel within the wheel of the 4 wheels were tall and frightening. All right, when you see, man, if you see this close up, you'll be afraid, man. And that's what Esau is. He's afraid. The Lord has shown him a lot of things, man. And that's why he's trying to demonize, the chariots, trying to demonize, the angels. It says, and they were covered with eyes all around. See, because they're coming to spy this place out. Verse 19, it says, Verse 19, when the living beings moved, see that? When the living beings moved, who are the living beings the prophet Ezekiel is speaking about? The angels. So when the angels moved, the wheels moved with them. See, the chariots. So the chariots just go wherever the angels fly. So if the angels fly left, if they fly right, if they fly upward, they go back into the heavens. If they go down in the ocean, like you're gonna see, okay, dang, that's where that chariot went. That proved that. So when we see that, so when brothers see chariots, hey, just know that those are angels, man. Which we know that, but this verse just lets you know that, like, it's super clear. in this verse. So when the living beings moved, the wheels moved with them. When they flew upward, the wheels went up too. The spirit of the living beings was in the wheels. See, Isaiah 31. The chariots of the Lord are spirit and not flesh. So how can Esau try to fight against that, man? You're gonna freaking lose, boy. You crazy. How you gonna fight a spirit? And not just any old spirits. These are angels, man. That's why the Lord says in Isaiah 47 and verse 3, he says, for I will not meet thee as a man. Yahweh Shah is going to come, okay, in an angelic presence, an angelic spirit, man. Okay, that Allah Shah, your spirit, he's going to terrorize these demons, man. You know, when I say demons, I'm talking about Esau and these other nations. You know, so the spirit of the living beings was in the wheels. So wherever the spirit went, the wheels and the living beings also went. When the beings moved, the wheels moved. When the beings stopped, the wheels stopped. So what Dabu is explaining right here on this video, he don't really know. Okay, this is why he said, oh, they're not just moving randomly. Of course they're not. These are angels, man. At the moon, they're everywhere. See, and they're the messengers of Yahweh Shema Shah, and they're spying this place out. See, it says, when the beings stopped, the wheels stopped. When the beings flew upward, the wheels rose up. For the spirit of the living beings was in the wheels. Spread out above them was a surface like the sky, glittering like crystal. See that? So it goes to show you, man, that this is a phenomenon that's happening in the heavens, in the Shemayim, man. Have a Christian break down Ezekiel, the first chapter. If you want to hear a Christian stutter, bring up Ezekiel chapter 1. You know, so this is our power at work here. How about Shema Shah, man? All right, I'm gonna leave you with this one last verse here. Deuteronomy 33 and 26. It says, there is none like unto the power or the God and power of Jeshurun, which means the upright ones, who rideth upon the heaven in thy help. See that? And in his excellency on the sky. See that? So our help is going to come upwards. Psalms 121. In verse 1, a song of degrees. I will lift up. See, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills from whence cometh my help. That's why Yahweh said to look up, for your redemption draweth nigh, because this is where our help is going to come, from the heavens. We're not looking anywhere of this realm, of this plane, if you will, okay, for our help. See, our help ain't going to come anywhere from this realm. It's going to come from upwards, man. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills from whence cometh my help. My help coming from Yahweh Shema Shah, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved, meaning he's going to keep you right here in the truth, man. He's going to keep your foot right up on in the straight gate. If you're part of the elect, you're not going to deviate and fall off into the fire or fall off into the great tempest. He's not going to suffer your foot to be moved. He's going to keep you on the straight and narrow until you receive into glory, man. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. He ain't going to go to sleep. He ain't sleep on the job, man. The Lord is he's alive and well, watching, helping the elect via the angels. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. So you other nations, man, y'all ain't got a fighting chance in hell, man. These are the chariots of Israel. Okay, and they're ultimately here right now to help the elect. Verse 5, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah is thy keeper. Yahweh Shema Shah is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Okay, meaning the elements are not going to hurt you. All right. Verse 7, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah shall preserve thee from all evil, even eating these nasty, polluted foods, man. You know, that's another thing. It's like every day, you get on TikTok, YouTube, wherever. Oh, avocados cause cancer. Like, goddamn. Celtic salt is really, like, come on, man. No, the Lord's going to preserve his elect from all evil, man. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh Shema Shah shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. See that? He shall preserve thy going out. Okay, he kicked us out the land, but he preserved his elect through it all. And thy coming in. Coming in where? Coming into the chariots. Isaiah the 26th chapter. All right. He says, shut the doors behind thee. So he's going to preserve his elect all the way up until that very point, man. And even forevermore. All right. So, yeah, we're going to leave it right there, man. Of course, man, there's plenty more scriptures to go into. You know, this is one of my favorite, topics to speak about is the chariots, But, I want to get this, too, before we end it out. I typed in, when is the next solar eclipse? It says the next solar eclipse in August will occur on August 12th, 2026. And I believe that's what, where's my calendar at? That's next Wednesday, which, if I'm not mistaken, a brother can correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm not mistaken, that's the new moon. New moon comes in next Wednesday. If I'm not mistaken, like I said, if I'm wrong, brother can just put the correct date up. But I believe that's when the new moon comes in, man. All right. So more signs. The next solar eclipse in August will occur on August 12th, 2026, and it will be a total solar eclipse. All right. And it's going to pass the path of totality will cross Greenland, Iceland, and Spain, while a partial eclipse will be visible in the parts of the United States, Canada, Portugal, and other regions of Europe and the Atlantic. All right. So the beast and Babylon, okay, is going to see these signs, see the sign of, the solar eclipse, man. So destruction is coming and salvation. So we'll leave it right there. All right. And the water for tuning in, the water for all the scriptures, Akim. All right. Okay. Yeah. The brother said Khan. So yeah. So the new moon is next Wednesday. And it's also going to be a solar eclipse. So our power is speaking to us, man. So continue to watch. Don't get tired. Keep fighting. Keep praying. All right, but until next time, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to my power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Chakodash. I want to give double honor to my beloved apostle, Elder Great Millstone, Muwafaq Babal, Shalom.